And this week, I've been just, for whatever reason, I don't know why, this happened before you even asked me to do this. I was just rocking out to some classic Elvis, man. Like, I was like literally rocking out to A Little Less Conversation by Elvis Presley. And to me, Elvis has a lot of great songs throughout his career. Obviously, they call him the King of Rock. Oh yeah. And I was recently in Houston a couple of months ago, and I actually went to Graceland and toured it and everything else, and saw his grave there, and toured the house. And, it just got a real sense of Elvis, but also that song, A Little Less Conversation. And
great
I'll tell
song.
you, the energy. Oh, it's a great song. Stands the test of time. The energy and the vibe of that song has become like synonymous with Las Vegas. And it's not just because of the fast pace of it and the call to action kind of lyrics where he's like basically telling you get up off your butt and do something, type of thing. But also it's due to Elvis because he was performing in Vegas a lot, especially in the late 60s when that song was conceived. Elvis had like a residency there in Vegas. He would play Vegas all the time, and Elvis himself became synonymous with Las Vegas. So that song, as soon as you hear it, that cowbell kicks in, and that boom, bam, that kind of funky vibe.
Yep.
It just feels like Vegas for whatever reason.
That's good. Yeah.
But that song was originally written by a country music legend named Mac Davis in 1968. Now, Mac Davis in that era, he wrote a lot of songs for Elvis in the late 60s. He wrote In the Ghetto. He wrote Memories. And he wrote Don't Cry Daddy for Elvis. And he also did renditions of his own of these, Mac Davis.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know who Mac Davis is, that's okay. He was a country star back in the 70s, or the 60s and 70s, and his biggest hit was called Baby Don't Get Hooked on Me in 1972. But of all his songs, I don't think anything could touch A Little Less Conversation. And what's cool about this song, too, is when Mac first wrote it, he wrote it for Aretha Franklin.
Okay.
He had her voice.
That's funny you said that, because that song reminds me of something out of the Blues Brothers. Remember when, the guys up on the bar? It's got that kind of beat to it, where,
Definitely. It definitely has that. Yeah, man, it's cool that you say that, because it's got that bluesy funk.
Right.
Style that the Blues Brothers had, and that's definitely in this song. And Aretha Franklin, of course, was in Blues Brothers, and she rocked it in that movie.
She did that song, Think. Think, remember?
Yeah.
That
was a great moment in that movie, man. And that was I think as a kid, for me, that was the first time I ever heard Aretha Franklin, too. She was already had respect under her belt and stuff, but for me as a kid, that was kind of my introduction to her, was probably through Blues Brothers, which is funny.
A Little Less Conversation kind of has the same feel to that, I guess.
Yeah, because he had, like I said, her voice was in his head when he wrote those lyrics and that melody.
Right.
He never had an opportunity to actually pitch it to her or have her sing it, though.
Okay.
Because Elvis, turned out that Elvis Presley was looking for music to use in the upcoming film he had called Live a Little, Love a Little.
Right.
So this was during Elvis's movie era when Elvis was he wasn't so much concerned about making hit songs as he was about making hit movies. But all of his movies are musicals, so he ended up, he needed songs for this. So, and that song was featured in the movie during a poolside scene where he was singing to this girl, Michelle Carey, the lead actress in the movie. He was singing her, a little less conversation, a little more action. And then, and in the song, Elvis, he calls for a little less conversation, a little more action, and that's exactly was the result of this timeless jam. And, and it's a call to action, it's a drive to move. And I don't think you could kind of listen to this song and not dance or, have or tap your feet or something.
Yeah, it's an upbeat song that gets you in the mood to get out on that dance floor.
Exactly, man. It's a great song. It stood the test of time from 1968, still going strong today, and with the help of a DJ named Junkie XL and a movie called Ocean's 11, they gave this song a resurgence in 2002 when that movie came out, and that took that song higher on the charts than it ever landed before that. In the 60s, when that song first released, and I think it was made in 1968, but I think they released it as a single in 1970, and it didn't do that great. It didn't chart at number one or anything. It wasn't a number one hit for Elvis. But when it came back out again in 2002, it hit up on all the charts, international music charts, national music charts, all over the place, and became a hit all over again and inspired a whole new generation of kids. Because of that DJ, because they made it for Ocean's 11, and what the DJ did was he brought up a lot of the music parts of it,
right,
and made Elvis's voice deeper and lower, so it's a little less conversation, right. And right. You hear the cowbell, and you hear Hal Blaine on drums. Larry Netchell on the bass, and Don Randy on piano, and Al Casey on guitar, just rocking it out and just jamming. And to me, a lot of that song is more about those guys than it was about Elvis in that particular song. That song just rocks out on the groove bass, on the instrumental.
Yep.
And then you combine that with Elvis's like freaking dude. Elvis was one of the best, smoothest voices of all time.
Definitely, absolutely.
He sang everything. He loved soul.
Yep.
Soul singing. That's his real background. That's his backbone. And
gospel.
But
I think some gospel.
Yeah, gospel. Yeah, all that. Yeah, and yeah, man. So that song to me is a masterpiece. Stands the test of time. Elvis has a lot of great songs, and a lot of Elvis fans might argue with me about it, but I would say A Little Less Conversation is his best song.
I would definitely agree, as being a DJ myself, for getting on the dance floor and dancing. I mean, that song makes you move, man.
Yeah, that song, and it stands the test of time, man. Like if you play Hound Dog or any like other hits or any other songs from that era, from the late '60s, they all kind of feel
60s
dated.
Yeah,
right.
60s. Yeah.
Little Less Conversation, it feels like it just transcends it all. I don't know, it's got the special sauce on there.
Right, it goes through every era of music. Like I could hear that in the '80s, with the Depeche Mode and all that kind of stuff. Reach out and touch me. A little less conversation.
Think about it. Lived through all those eras.
Right, right. It still kicks butt today. I gotta start playing that some more on the dance floor. I mean, I play a lot of Elvis, but that's one I don't think I play too much.
Dude, that song, like, yeah, I bet you, try it out. Let me know how it goes for you, because I bet you if you play it, people are going to start hitting the floor and going crazy, because that song gets me moving, man.
Yep, it's one of those songs that people do forget about. I think you said that already, but you totally forget about it. It's an Elvis one-hit wonder because it's never really played.
Right, exactly. And they need to play it it needs to be played more.